when your child should be introduced to baby food. There are recommended ages that parents should start feeding their infant baby food, but most often these aren't followed. If you know me, I'm a human development major, so very interested in the development process that humans go through to get to elderly, that type of thing. I'm very interested in that. And working at the daycare, I'm in the infant room all the time, so I get to see the twos and unders when they're discovering things. Everything's going in their mouth so they can learn, things like that. It's really interesting to me. It's very fun to see, actually, because it all combines with my major, and it's pretty awesome. I am a mother of a 5-month-old son. We just started feeding him baby food, his father and I, so together we're working on that, something a little different for him, but I think he's enjoying it. Some of my main points. Many guidelines that parents see aren't followed, and they have reasons such as my child could still be hungry after they've had their bottle. And you see that one a lot, actually. That's a pretty normal thing. There are many resources out there that say that the best time to introduce babies to solid foods, baby foods, is 6 months old. The first article I found is by Clayton, Puri, and Scanlon, and they say that if you introduce your baby, excuse me, before 6 months of age, there's an increased risk of diabetes, obesity, eczema, celiac disease, those kinds of things. So something to watch out for, really. And that article was Prevalence and Reasons for Introducing Infants Early to Solid Foods, Variations by Milk Type. The second article I found was by Jay Cicero, and his article was Introducing Solid Foods Using Baby-Led Weaning versus Spoon-Fed, a focus on oral development, nutrient intake, and quality, and research to bring balance to the debate. Really tried to want to level out the playing field. What I took from his article, though, is how milk is supposed to be complementary to baby food. It's not just supposed to be one or nothing. It needs to be complementary balance. I think I read until at least 9 months of age. So that's something really important. The third article I found was Introducing Solid Foods to Young Infants. The authors Kuo and Kulas, Slusher, Maidenberg, and Hafton. And they really talked about how the milk is important because of iron. When I was breastfeeding, the doctor told me to put an iron supplement in my baby's bottle. And formula is jam-packed with iron. When I was done breastfeeding, I didn't have to do that iron supplement anymore because the formula already had it. So I thought that was very important. And Jason Chera also says that spoon feeding should be introduced with a smooth, runny puree as a first texture. It shouldn't be chunky or anything like that because they could swallow that and choke. The last article I found was Introduction of Solid Foods. Do Mothers Follow Recommendations? That was by Coleman, Gutman, Larson, Leffrey, McKillop, and Wright. That article talked about how it's important to introduce baby food at 6 months because they need those fruits and veggies now. They need a little bit more nutrition than mom's milk or formula milk can give them. So just a little bit more to get them going, a little more energy intake, things like that. There are several reasons that parents don't wait until their child is 6 months old, and I might have some insight on that too because I did start my child off at 5 months. As I said, I worked in a daycare. Most of those babies actually started out on baby food at 5 months of age, so not quite 6 months, 5 months. And in the article, Prevalence and Reasonings for Introducing Infants to Early Solid Foods, Variation by Milk Feeding Type, they actually had a list. They said, baby seemed hungry after milk. Wanted something in addition to formula or breast milk. Baby wanted the food the parents ate. Doctor or healthcare provider actually said your baby should be eating baby foods now. Or it was said to help the baby sleep. Introduction of solid foods to young infants believed. Practices are successful when food provided meets nutritional needs for infants, protects the airway against aspiration of foods substances, and does not exceed the functional capacity of gastrointestinal tract or kidneys. So what they really said was that the baby's going to get enough nutrition out of it. They're going to get what they need out of it. They're not going to choke on it. It's that pureed substance, like I said before, and it's not overwhelming for their bodies. There's not a lot of dairy and things like that. One article actually stated that food should not be introduced later than 6 months. Excuse me. it can create problems. Baby still wants a bottle, and they get close to that, very, very attached to it. But because parents want to do what's best for their baby, they will always introduce food early if they feel that it's needed. And I understand that. I introduced my son to baby food because he wasn't sleeping through the night. He was waking up every 3 hours, and we've really changed that. It's being 5 or 6 now that he's waking up. So I am one parent who does not follow the guidelines for waiting 6 months for their parent or their child to be start baby food, and we haven't had any adverse effects to it. And until we do, I will keep feeding him baby food.